The United States and China. Two global giants. Their relationship is very important for the whole world, but this relationship is not easy. It is like walking on thin ice. There are many challenges. One wrong step, and everything could break apart. The United States and China are competing in many areas. They compete in trade, they compete in technology, they even compete in ideas. This competition has made the world a very uncertain place. Countries are worried about which side to choose. Both countries need to be careful. They need to find a way to work together. If not, the consequences will be very bad for everyone. The future of the world depends on the United States and China finding common ground. One of the biggest problems between the United States and China is trade. This issue has been a significant point of contention for many years, affecting not just the two countries involved, but the entire global economy. They have been fighting a trade war for many years. This ongoing conflict has led to numerous economic and political tensions, impacting businesses and consumers alike. In 2018, the United States under President Trump put tariffs on Chinese goods. These tariffs were meant to protect American industries but had far-reaching consequences. China responded with tariffs of its own. This tit-for-tat escalation created a cycle of retaliation that has been difficult to break. This trade war has hurt businesses around the world. Prices have gone up, making it harder for consumers to afford everyday goods. Companies have had to change their suppliers. Many businesses have been forced to look for alternative sources, disrupting established supply chains. The global economy has slowed down. The uncertainty and increased costs have led to a decrease in economic growth worldwide. Even though there is a new president in the United States, the trade war is not over. The Biden administration has continued many of the policies from the previous administration. Many of the tariffs are still in place. These trade barriers continue to affect the flow of goods between the two countries. The United States is also trying to make more things at home. This push for domestic manufacturing aims to reduce reliance on foreign imports. They don't want to depend on China so much. This shift is part of a broader strategy to strengthen national security and economic independence. This trade war shows how much the United States and China depend on each other. Despite their rivalry, their economies are deeply intertwined. It also shows how their rivalry can hurt the rest of the world. The economic ripples from their conflict have far-reaching impacts, affecting global trade and economic stability. Taiwan is a small island off the coast of China, but its significance in global politics is immense. It represents a major point of contention in the complex relationship between the United States and China, two of the world's most powerful nations. China claims Taiwan as its own territory, insisting that it is a breakaway province that must be reunified with the mainland by force if necessary. However, Taiwan operates as a separate entity with its own government, democratic elections, and a distinct national identity. The United States has a long-standing policy of supporting Taiwan's self-defense capabilities, including arms sales and military training. This unwavering support from the U.S. is a source of great frustration and anger for China, which views it as interference in its internal affairs. In response, China has ramped up its military presence and activities around Taiwan, conducting frequent drills and patrols. These actions are intended to intimidate both Taiwan and the United States, sending a clear message of China's resolve. Many experts believe that Taiwan is the most dangerous flashpoint in the world today, with the potential to spark a major international conflict. If a war were to break out over Taiwan, it could easily draw in the United States and other countries, leading to a catastrophic global conflict. The human cost of such a conflict would be unimaginable, with widespread devastation and loss of life. Therefore, it is crucial for the United States and China to find a way to manage the Taiwan issue peacefully, through dialogue and diplomacy. Without a peaceful resolution, the risk of war remains very real, posing a threat to global stability and security. Section 4. Democracy versus the Dragon. The United States and China have very different political systems. These differences are not just in governance, but also in the fundamental values that shape their societies. The United States is a democracy where the power lies with the people. People vote to choose their leaders, ensuring that the government reflects the will of its citizens. China, on the other hand, is a communist country, where the state holds the ultimate authority. The Communist Party controls the government and everything else, from the economy to the media. These different systems lead to different values and beliefs, influencing how people live their daily lives. The United States believes in freedom of speech and human rights, allowing its citizens to express their opinions openly. China believes in state control and social harmony, prioritizing collective stability over individual freedoms. These differences can make it very difficult for the two countries to understand each other, often leading to misunderstandings and tensions. Some people believe that the United States and China are destined to clash, given their opposing ideologies and global ambitions. They say that democracy and communism cannot coexist peacefully, drawing parallels to the Cold War era. Others believe that the two countries can find ways to cooperate despite their differences through diplomacy and mutual interests. Only time will tell which view is correct, as the world watches this complex relationship unfold. But one thing is for sure, the competition between democracy and the Chinese model will continue to shape the 21st century, influencing global politics, economics, and culture. Section 5. The world watches and worries. The rivalry between the United States and China is making other countries nervous. Many countries depend on both the United States and China for trade and investment. They don't want to choose sides. They just want everyone to get along. This rivalry is also affecting global institutions like the United Nations. The United States and China are often at odds in these forums. This makes it difficult to address important global challenges like climate change and pandemics. The world needs the United States and China to act responsibly. They need to stop fighting and start cooperating. The future of the planet may depend on it. Section 6. Can't we all just get along? Despite all the tensions, there are some areas where the United States and China can work together. One example is climate change. Both countries are major polluters. They need to cooperate to reduce emissions and develop clean energy. Another area of potential cooperation is global health. The COVID-19 pandemic showed how interconnected the world is. The United States and China need to work together to prevent and respond to future health crises. Of course, cooperation will not be easy. There is a lot of mistrust between the two countries. But it is important to keep trying. The stakes are too high to fail. Section 7. The future hangs in the balance. The relationship between the United States and China is the most important bilateral relationship in the world. It will shape the 21st century and beyond. Right now, the relationship is very fragile. There are many challenges and risks. Both countries need to choose their next steps carefully. They need to find ways to manage their rivalry and cooperate on shared challenges. The future of the world depends on it. The world is holding its breath. Will the United States and China be able to find a path to peace and prosperity, or will their rivalry lead to conflict and chaos? Only time will tell.